celebrate. They have done it.
Hi everyone, back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the Rumour Has It video where we're talking about players linked to the football club this coming transfer window. And we're linked to a centre-back here, a Premier League centre-back, who's actually not a bad player as well. So we're going to get stuck right to him in a minute. And good news is he's right-footed as well. Hurrah! Praise the transfer gods. But just before we do with it, just check us out for the first time. Good to see you. Smash subscribe, like the video, help the channel grow, help get us to our next milestone. You won't regret it. Loads of great Newcastle United content here. Transfer links, like we're going to cover in a minute, previews, reviews, and the odd rant now and again. So why not click the button, hang around a little bit longer. So let's get stuck in. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about this lad right here, and this is Jan Paul van Hecke of Brighton. Sound familiar? Yeah, you should do. He's the lad that Anthony Gordon shoved over to get a red card and missed loads of key games not too long ago. But that's not what Van Hecke's all famous for, to be fair. He's a very tidy Premier League defender. He's 24 years old. He's a cracking age. He's played with Sven Botman as well at an international level, because he's Dutch, and he's a really good player. So we're going to get stuck into his stats in a minute and then talk about whether I think he'd be a good fit for us or not. But you can see there he's played through the leagues. He's played through, the Eredivisie, had a spell at Blackburn, had a good spell there. Then he's been in the Brighton team since 2022, and he's really come on as a player. He's quick, he's strong, he's really good in the air as well. And he's just a really talented footballer. He's not phased in defence. He's quite aggressive in his play as well. Decent in both boxes. So I think this could be a really interesting signing, but we'll get into the transfer fee in a minute because I think it's a tad bit too high in my opinion, but we'll get stuck into it. So looking at the stats there, you can see, in terms of the greens, his passing there, he's very good with the ball at his feet, 85% passing percentage for the centre half. He's 57% completion, but 98% of those are progressive passes. He's playing for Brighton, who are a progressive side. As you can see, the passes in the final third and the progressive carries say that as well. So in terms of the replacement for Fabian Schär, he's ticking a lot of the boxes that Fabian Schär is very good at. As you can see from the radar grid there, Fabian Schär beats him on interceptions and blocks, but pretty much everything else, Van Hecke has got it over Fabian Schär in the radar grid there, and he's a very, very talented footballer, this kid, and I think he would be a good signing for us, but I'm a little bit concerned in terms of the transfer fee, which I'll get into in a minute. In terms of where to be concerned with Van Hecke, he doesn't do a lot of interceptions, and his tackling percentage is quite low, as is his tackles one. He's what's the right word for him as a centre half? He gets in the way of things, in terms of his positional sense and getting the ball and being first to the ball. But he's not throwing himself into loads of different shots. But that's not kind of the way Brighton have been playing this season, to be fair. Brighton haven't been defending with their backs to the wall. So these stats can be a little bit misconstrued as they often can be as well. In terms of goals, he's got 1 goal and 1 assist in the Premier League. So he's way behind Fabian Schär in that regard. But his contract expires in June 2027. And this is where the bit that gets me. So apparently Brighton have valued him at 60 million quid. This is all in the links to TBR Football that's saying that Eddie Howe is very interested in the player. 60 million quid, I think, is a hefty cost for Van Hecke. Now, although he's Premier League proven and he's a decent player, I think that is a hefty old fee, that is, for a player of Van Hecke's quality. There's other names that have been thrown to the mix there. Malik Chow's back on the radar as well. I think we were quoted 30 million quid for him last summer when nothing happened there. We thought was going to happen and it didn't happen. I think it was actually the summer we signed Tonali. That's 2 or 3 summers ago, really, isn't it, in all fairness? So we definitely need a right-sided centre-half, but at 60 million quid, if you're going to go that high, you've got the likes of Mark Guehi there as well. You've got the likes of Dean Howson at 50 million quid. There's loads of different options there for the right-sided centre-half, and I'm not too sure 60 million quid on Van Hecke is a great investment. I know it's the going rate. Mark always says that's what he's worth to the team, but 60 million quid for me, I think you can probably get a bit better player for your buck. I think Dean Howson's much better on the ball, much better at getting the ball out from the back four, better positional, blocks, tackles. All of Dean Howson's stats against Van Hecke, I'm pretty confident will be a lot better than that. So I think at 50 million quid and he's younger, I'd rather go for Dean Howson than Van Hecke. And, if you're going to pay 60 million quid for a centre-half, you might as well go for someone, like Osmendi from Sporting Lisbon, the beast, that he is, that been linked to loads of football clubs, Premier League clubs over the last couple of seasons. So let me know in the comments below what you think about Van Hecke. Would you like him as a signing? Do you think 60 million is a bit too steep like me? Who would you want to sign as the right-sided centre-half? Who do you think the club will sign? Will Mark Guehi be that name again that Eddie Howe was fixated on, like he was all last summer, apparently, if you believe the stories? Or have we dropped our interest there and are we looking elsewhere? Is Dean Howson the man? He is for me. I think a centre-back pairing of Dean Howson and Sven Botman would arguably be one of the best in the Premier League. You look at our midfield, those three are arguably maybe the second or third best midfield in the Premier League. If you had Dean Howson and a fully fit Sven Botman who can stay fit, which is key, all next season, that's arguably the second or third best defence in the Premier League as well. So that's the lad I would go for. Certainly at 50 million quid release clause, which I think is much better value for money than Van Hecke. But we're always open to comments. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Keep it evermore. We will be back with some more Rumour Has It videos soon. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you later. Cheers.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.